Our brains simply aren't wired to understand raw statistics. Through human evolution, we learn to react to physical experiences, not abstract probability. You can see this cognitive blind spot perfectly in the lead-up to the 2016 U.S. presidential election, specifically by looking at Nate Silver's final forecast. Going into the vote, Silver's mathematical modeling gave Hillary Clinton a 71% chance of winning. This pie chart illustrates that 71% probability, but the human mind struggles to process the remaining gap. Most people looked at that number and immediately mentally rounded it up to an absolute certainty. Look at the 29% slice that remains. In the game of Texas Hold'em, those are roughly the exact same odds as flopping a pair, a remarkably common occurrence that happens in nearly a third of all hands. When we experience a sudden shock, a job loss, a freak accident, an unexpected illness, we fall into what psychologists call the illusion of control. We assume we made a mistake, or that the universe is actively working against us. Reading textbooks or memorizing datasets won't fix this. To truly grasp probability, we require a system that forces us to experience the actual consequences of our calculations. John von Neumann invented the modern computer and effectively created the field of game theory. Yet, despite his genius, he found chess entirely boring. Chess is a game of perfect information. Every piece is visible on the board, and every variable can be mathematically accounted for in advance. Reality doesn't work that way. On the opposite end of the spectrum are games like roulette or the lottery. These are driven by pure, uncontrollable chance, rendering human logic irrelevant. Von Neumann saw the ultimate proxy for human life in a different game, poker. It operates on incomplete information, forcing you to make decisions based on what you know, while accounting for hidden variables you can never see. It acts as the exact midpoint on the spectrum of certainty. It balances the pure calculation of chess with the absolute chaos of the roulette wheel. You might wonder why a game commonly associated with smoke-filled casinos and degenerate gambling is being presented as a rigorous psychological tool. The philosopher Immanuel Kant observed that people deliver their opinions with absolute confidence until someone asks them to bet their entire net worth on that opinion being true. The act of placing a bet functions as a biological truth serum. It startles the brain into pausing and accurately calculating its actual margin of error. This diagram shows the basic mechanics of Texas Hold'em. You have two hidden elements, your private hole cards, interacting with 5 visible community cards. You must constantly balance what only you know against the public information available to others. The crucial variable is the no-limit rule. At any given moment, you can risk everything you possess. It perfectly mirrors the unconstrained risks of business negotiations, warfare, or relationships. The table provides a ruthless, real-time feedback loop. If you overestimate your certainty, you suffer immediate financial loss, permanently teaching your brain exactly what a 71% probability actually feels like. Society generally scorns the poker player as a reckless gambler, while revering the stockbroker inside legacy financial institutions as the standard of calculated risk. Yet economic data reveals a deep irony. Many professional stock pickers rely heavily on intuition, falling prey to the illusion of skill while consistently underperforming the broader market. Elite poker professionals operate in the exact opposite manner. Their decisions are strictly bound by calculated mathematical equity and complex decision tree matrices. The individuals sitting at the high-stakes tables are not the true gamblers. They are highly rational thinkers, systematically exploiting the poor probabilistic reasoning of everyone around them. If we want to make better choices, we have to stop navigating our lives expecting the perfect predictability of a chessboard. We also have to stop viewing ourselves as helpless victims tied to the random spin of a roulette wheel whenever things break the wrong way. True success requires detaching from the outcome. You can execute the absolute perfect mathematical decision, holding the highest possible advantage, and still lose to a bad beat of short-term luck. By mentally placing a bet on our choices, we separate the variables we can control from the noise we cannot. Variance governs the short term, but over the long timeline of a life, true skill wins out.